All right, right on. So this is going to be our third video about how to make websites. We're going to talk a little bit about styling today. Not so much getting into artistic things, but structurally, how do you implement styles on your website? So the demo that we're going to use is this thing. This guy Gordon had asked me to show him how on a website he could make it so that he would have a header image at the top of the page, and when somebody switched over to a mobile device, he basically wanted the link on that image to change from being on to the website to a phone number, because you could actually have a link so that if someone hits it, it pulls up to call that person. So the trick of how to do that was actually to put two images there side by side and hide one of them, and then when the screen size changed, it would make one of them invisible and show the other one. So it's like a switcheroo that happens so fast that you don't even notice it. So when I did that, I actually used, there's two files here. There's an HTML file and a CSS file. The CSS file is over here, which has the styling, and then the HTML file is this, which is just what you're used to. So we'll go through the HTML first. So again, we have a head here, and this time there's this thing that says link to sample CSS, which is a style sheet of type text CSS. So that just tells our HTML file that we have a CSS file with all our styles in it. And I guess the main thing to get from this is almost every website today keeps their stylings in another page, and the reason you would do that is that you don't want to repeat code. That's like the big thing that you try to avoid in programming, is keep things modular, so that if you edit it once, it edits it everywhere that you want it to be done, and that so you don't have to keep repeating code. So I don't want to have to tell every single web page to use the same background color. I don't want to have to tell every web page what fonts to use and what style remember we use like H1, H2, H3. I don't want to have to tell every single web page how to define these things. I want some consistency everywhere so I can store my styles in a separate page. So let's look at this thing really quick, right? So it says, hi, my name is Jim. So boom, hi, my name is Jim. And I didn't even use paragraphs here, so that's bad styling. I didn't even use like open P and close P. But I got, hi, my name is Jim. There's a line break. Then this says, show this link all the time. So then there's a link to Google. And I said, show this link only on a desktop page. So notice here that I've used ID equals head desk. So that head probably means header, desk. That's like a name that I made up. But it's important to notice that this says ID. And then this one says, show this link only on a mobile device. And this one I give a different ID to. And then down here, I say, now we're going to do it with an image. And I've got an image here, which says head desk image. And this is the image thing. Now notice this is a class. So I've got ID and class. I'll mention the difference between them. And then here, I've got another class. This one's head mobile image. And what you notice is, as I change the size of the screen, you'll notice a few things subtly, boom. So all of a sudden the link for Flanascience disappeared. The link here for Call Us Now appeared, and this Flantascience logo got smaller. So these are different stylings that I've done. The very basic styling, which is display, visible, and invisible. So let's go over to the CSS and take a look. So let's see. Actually, display none is what I use. Now, you can have visibility would be, I think, visible, invisible, or visible and hidden. But we'll talk about that stuff. So the most basic thing is this is a CSS file. And you see here, oh, this is how you comment in a CSS file, is with // Always comment your stuff so you can find out where the hell you are. Now this is body. So what this means is that the entire section of body, so this says beginning and end of body, is going to have this style. So I've got curly bracket. It says background color light blue. Color black means the font color is black. So I could change this to red, and boom, all the font turns red. And I could also use the hexadecimal. So all F's should be white. Boom. all my body text turns white. So we'll go back to black because that looks much normal. So this is like the most basic CSS, right? It's just like calling things out like that. But what I really want to mention is kind of show you the trick of things disappearing and appearing. But to show you a couple things, the first is that this is head desk. And this is going to refer to the Google link. And then head mobile. Sorry, I mixed up. So that is going to refer to Flantascience. So it says show this link on a desktop. So this is head desk. Again, these are names that I made up. And I've got head mobile, which is that link that was here about call now to 55555. So it says display inline. There's a bunch of different display types. Don't worry about that for now. That's a whole different type of thing to get into. And display none means just hide the darn thing, don't display it. So when I use this hashtag, it refers to the ID that we had on the page over here. So here it says, here's a link. So you have like Ahrefs, this goes to Flantascience, and I gave it the ID, head desk. This one is a link to the phone number, and I gave it the ID, head mobile. So now it's set up so normally you display head for desktop, which is Flantascience, and head for mobile is not displayed. So it says none. Now we do this cool trick, which is to do with mobile devices and responsive websites. So what I say here is when the screen gets to 400 pixels wide, a maximum width, I'm going to switch it. So my desk head, instead of being inline, will go to none. And my mobile, instead of being none, will go to inline. And that's when you notice, when I get to about 480 pixels, boom, it switches. Right? So that's kind of a cool little styling thing. You know, if I wanted, I could change the background color when I get to a certain screen size. I could, you know, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. The other thing is, notice this one uses a hashtag, and this one uses a period. So the hashtag has to do with IDs. So that's something that's only going to show up on this given web page one time. Whereas a period refers to a class. A class could show up a bunch of times in the same page. And that's important for a number of reasons, like maybe like my navigation bar, I'll only show one time on a page. But I might have multiple paragraphs that use the same class. I might have a couple of rows or columns laid out that use the same class. And over here on my HTML file, I've actually used ID equals head desk. Down here, I've got, you know, this is an image with this class that I've defined. So that's, you know, that's a little bit of CSS, very basic. You know, this is a very repetitive page. It kind of does the same thing a bunch of times here. But I just kind of wanted to show you the idea that you've got your HTML page, which has all the structure of the site, and then your CSS, which is all the stylings. And this could be any, I mean, styling refers to a lot of different stuff. You'll see this as we go. But yeah, I think that that's enough for now. So there you have it. Cool, man. Next video we're going to get into will be, let's see, what did I have in store next? Next will be, we'll talk about divs. So I mentioned tables before. That's like the old school way of doing websites. Divs is the modern way of laying out your website. So that's next.